To manage Azure SQL scale-out, start by understanding the concept of scaling, which involves increasing or decreasing the resources allocated to your database to match changing workload demands. Azure SQL Database provides two scaling options: vertical scaling, which increases the power of the database by upgrading to a higher service tier, and horizontal scaling, also known as sharding, which distributes the data across multiple databases. First, monitor your database's performance metrics, such as CPU usage, memory usage, and query response times, to determine if scaling is necessary. You can use Azure Monitor to track these metrics and set up alerts to notify you when the database is experiencing high utilization. Next, decide which scaling option is best for your database. If you need to increase the power of the database, consider vertical scaling by upgrading to a higher service tier. Azure SQL Database provides several service tiers, including general purpose, business critical, and hyperscale, each with increasing levels of compute and storage resources. If you need to distribute the data across multiple databases, consider horizontal scaling. This involves creating multiple databases, each containing a portion of the data, and using a technique called sharding to distribute the data across the databases. Azure SQL Database provides a feature called Elastic Database Pools, which simplifies the process of managing multiple databases. To implement horizontal scaling, start by identifying the shard key, which is the column or set of columns that will be used to distribute the data across the databases. Then, create a shard map, which is a database that keeps track of the shard key and the corresponding database for each shard. Next, create the shard databases and populate them with data. Finally, use a technique called data-dependent routing to direct queries to the correct database based on the shard key. Best practices for managing Azure SQL scale-out include monitoring database performance regularly, using automated scaling to adjust resources based on workload demands, and testing scaling scenarios to ensure that the database can handle increased traffic. Additionally, consider using Azure SQL Database's built-in features, such as automatic tuning and query store, to optimize database performance and reduce the need for scaling. In summary, managing Azure SQL scale-out involves understanding the concepts of vertical and horizontal scaling, monitoring database performance, and choosing the best scaling option for your database. By following these steps and best practices, you can ensure that your Azure SQL database is properly scaled to meet the needs of your application and provide optimal performance.